Aw, dang, what's up, everybody? Thank you so much for watching this episode. It's March already. I can't believe it. And humans have landed another rover on Mars. Perseverance is there. It parachuted in. It's awesome. When you think about a drone, you might think it's like a small RC car. That's what I thought. But then when I saw one life-size replica in person, I was like, oh, this is like a SUV, and it's a huge machine. And then this one new one, has new wheels and stuff, and it has a drone within a drone, and it's a helicopter that flies out, which hasn't taken off yet, but all systems are nominal, and very exciting stuff following along. It's now driven around and stuff. Watching the landing is crazy, and even just hearing about there's the Mars network satellite system to get the data down back to Earth and stuff. So very inspiring. I hope it's making everybody think about space. It's making me reminisce 1 year ago when I went off world to a planet on the outer rim called Batu in Star Wars Galaxy's Edge: Rise of the Resistance.
Ojaba.
So let me take you guys through the story here. Oh my gosh, this was a place that was been the ride had just opened and was still packed to get into. This was exactly 1 year ago on March 8th, 2020, when I finally decided to try to get into this ride. So Star Wars Land Galaxy's Edge had been open for a while, but they only had the one ride before. This was like the big flagship ride, and guys, this is my favorite ride I've ever seen. I've been a fan of Disneyland, and I've always grew up around here. We went like once every couple of years, and let me just take you guys through this. So we're passing the Irvine Spectrum Center on the 5 freeway at 6:24. It's so early. Oh my gosh, the sun is not even out yet. I'm seeing the moon over on the horizon a little bit. And finally, we arrive at the park, at the parking lot, around 6:59. There's a brand new parking lot, by the way. They had the Mickey and Friends lot. Now there's even a Pixar lot, which is like even cleaner and better and closer. We're walking in, and as soon as we notice there's a lot of people there already, even though the park's not even open yet. As soon as we walk into the center area between Disneyland and California Adventure, it's a full of people, like it's a crazy holiday or something, even though this is just a random day. It wasn't anything special, it's just everybody's getting there this early just to try to get on this ride. You guys, it's so crazy. The lines, we're basically going back all the way up to California Adventure. It's like nothing you've ever really seen. And then, beautiful day though. The sun is starting to appear. Some sunshines. We're taking some selfies and stuff. We get into the line, and the line isn't even moving yet. They finally let people starting to go into the park at 7:30 onto Main Street, basically, and there's some ropes there, taking some selfies and stuff. And then it's basically packed when we get up to where the actual, there's like a rope drop ceremony where they like finally let everybody in once it gets to like around 8. And this is like butt to nut, as they say, basically shoulder to shoulder, completely packed with people. Before, like, this was a wreck. People heard about the coronavirus, but it wasn't that big of a deal yet. It was probably dangerous to even go then, actually. But I always wanted to go, and I thought that I just finally was taking the chance. I'm so glad I went, because it's been closed ever since. It's been closed for longer now than it was even open. Finally, the sun starts to rise over the astro orbiter. I see a reflection of the sunshine on there, and then everybody, they let us in like a couple minutes before 8, so you could go start getting onto a ride. But basically, everybody's like rushing just to find a space to sit on their phones and refresh constantly over and over on the app to try to get a boarding group. That's the only way to get into the ride. You have to basically get a boarding group. As soon as the place opens, they start accepting them exactly at 8 o'clock. And if you get a group number, and then it's not even like the other rides where it's like a fast pass, and you could go at 3 o'clock or whatever. It's like I was group 65, and we were lucky to even get that, because people are basically refreshing immediately at 8. And if you don't refresh fast enough, you don't even get a boarding group. They out for the day. or you're at like a 150 and they might not even get to your number because it's not a consistent speed that they go through. So, like one group at a time, basically. And sometimes the rides will break down and stuff. And so there's like all these graphs online of like they're getting through like this many numbers groups today and stuff. And, like graphs of, what part of the day they think that your group is going to get in and stuff. So we were so lucky to even get a boarding group, Astromech Droid deployed. And also you could set up a party within the app, basically, so that it'll make sure you guys are both going to get in. So we're enjoying the day, basically, walking around Star Wars Land, and if you've never been to Galaxy's Edge, it's very cool how Disney does all of their themed lands. They're even the trash cans and are designed for that land. In Tomorrowland or Frontierland. And so, like, we're entering from kind of like the frontier land where there's like the lake and natural areas and stuff and crickets. The first time I walked in, and there's, all even this, like, the lamps were like Country Bear Jamboree lamps or whatever. And then, like, I'm like, is this the way? I had to, like, check the map to find out how to get in. I'm, like, walking down this, like, trail. And then, like, all of a sudden, the lights I notice are like Star Wars lights, and it's like like electricity or something. And then, like, I'm walking more, and then, like, I start hearing like Red 5 or something, like radio transmissions. Like, this is it. Like, we're here. All of a sudden, the first thing I see is Chewbacca walking around. Like, a group of kids are following him around. He's giving people hugs and stuff. I continue walking on. I see Ray. I give her like a knowing nod as I'm like by myself, and I'm not going to take a picture, but it's basically like being a kid at Disneyland and seeing Mickey Mouse and stuff coming to life. Chewbacca impromptu. I saw him having some sort of who's the tallest contest, and it's like people are like coming up from the crowd trying to challenge him to be taller, and like the crowd is like roaring and stuff. It was hilarious. It's hilarious. It's a cool place to be like you're finally in, feeling like you're in Star Wars. It's cheesy and obviously not it, but anyway, we took a ride on a good old Space Mountain before going in. Checking it out was very cool. I hadn't been on there in a long time, and yeah, that ride always kind of gave me the creeps as a kid, because one of the things I like about Disneyland rides is like the queue, and when you're in the line, you're hearing all these like space sounds and stuff, and yeah, it really freaked me out as a kid. It's really dark in there. So now the clouds are gone as we get out. It's a beautiful day, 56. We're checking the app. What boarding group are we on? Like 15 or 20 or something. It's slowly going through. A haunted mansion is under construction, completely closed for the day. They're doing like some sort of major revamp to this thing. Unprecedented to see that closed. While we're at New Orleans Square, we stop by the jewelry shop, which has like some cool Star Wars pendants. It's kind of a secret cool place, is this jewelry store. Always check that out if you have time. In the very cool down New Orleans place. So we go on the Silly Symphony Swings ride, just having some fun, chilling out. We go drop by Ballast Point Brewery, my favorite place to get a beer in the whole resort, basically in downtown Disney. Had a great beer. There's like barely anybody there because the coronavirus outbreak was happening. Oh man, just looking. This is like kind of just love the birds and stuff, the ducks. It's a good Disneyland is great. So finally, our party group number is called, and we're like going in there through the queue. And one of my favorite things, as I mentioned, is the queue. So when I was a kid, I got to go to one of the opening days of the Indiana Jones ride, and they were handing everybody out this card that had these codes to decode secret messages on the walls written on cliffs. And like the line was moving so slow back then, you like had the time to like go through and decode all these messages. And now it's like people are just like walking past to get onto the ride at Indiana Jones because it moves much faster and there's less people, and they don't even notice these markings on the walls really, but actually there's secret messages in there. And this type of attention to detail is no different in Galaxy's Edge. They even have, quests you're going on in the app where you, before this ride even opened, you were able, this was the first place you were able to see schematics of one of the drop ships that's part of the ride. So really cool queue presence, basically going through these like Star Wars caves and stuff like that. And so it's just a really fun time. in the line you see BB-8 through like this whole production scene where like you're getting like your messages. A transmission from a hologram of Ray comes through, giving you guys like a secret mission, basically, of just like you can't let them get this secret info and stuff. But then you come outside, and then there's this is that transport ship I'm talking about that you basically are boarding this transport ship going out to space. You walk in there, and it's like a drop ship. You're like hanging on, or basically standing room, and you can hang on to things, and it's like jumbling around as you're like flying through space, and like this guy, Admiral Akbar looking guy, is just like there. There's this like animatronics, all of like the windows are like screens. It looks like you're like looking out into space through the back. Very crazy. Let's just go through the video here. I took one to while we're in there. We're under attack and stuff. Oh man, yeah, it's pretty exciting stuff. Just remembering that. So basically, that ship gets captured as part of the story. You come outside on that ship, and it's like the Empire or First Order, like officers are there. It's like, oh, come out of here and stuff, and it's like all of a sudden you're face to face with like 100 stormtroopers. To everybody takes selfies in this place and stuff, and then finally it's like the you're getting on the ride. There's even I'm not going to go into all the details, but there's cast members themselves are playing into the role as you're like in. It feels like you're really there, man, because when you're walking through the hallway, it's like the ground is completely shiny, less if you're like going through like some Death Star hallway or something like that, and then the people in their Empire clothing are like oh, like go to like blue 3, 5, and 6 for your group. Like some woman is like, oh, like I think like you said like the wrong side because you said blue 3, and he's like playing the role. He's like, I know, I said 3, 5, and 7. Just like people are like laughing and stuff like that. A little girl like over here talking to the mom, like don't give her the secret information and stuff. Finally, you get on the ride.
Lucky it didn't spot you. Take those turbo lifts.
You're going through this whole place trying to escape. There's stormtroopers shooting at you. You've got a little droid guy that's like riding your ship around, your little vehicle. It's kind of like they compare it to Pirates of the Caribbean, where it's like a bunch of people in like a little boat. It's like a bunch of people in this little vehicle driving around by this droid, and it's it's a trackless vehicle. This is a new thing for this park. You go through a room where there's these giant AT-ATs. It's like, we gotta get out of here, we're under fire. It's just like so exciting. I took a video here. You're cruising around like, oh gosh, things are firing, cannons, like we're almost out and stuff like that. It seems like things are actually like on fire and like the blast like tearing open the walls. Like, oh my gosh, what the heck? Then it's Kylo Ren using the Force to like pulling you over there and stuff. We gotta get out of here. And I'm not gonna spoil the end, but basically you get out, it's an exciting drop that you escape from this ship. You're coming in hot back onto Batuu, and you land, and it's like the Resistance is like bailing you out, and it's incredible. I highly recommend this ride, you guys. It's a good time. The very next picture I had on my phone was just like a couple days later at like the Walmart, and the shelves are completely bare of food and stuff like that. And the whole pandemic thing was really kicking into gear. But yeah, I wanted to just share that story. I got to go. I'm so happy I got to go before they really closed down, and it's a great attraction. I picked up this pin. It's Millennium Falcon, Star Wars, Galaxy's Edge Landing, and some other pins that were pretty cool. If you don't know about the pins at Disneyland, you could collect these pins and trade them with other people, and if a cast member has like a pin on, you could like trade them any pin for their pin. There's pin boards in certain stores where you could like swap out pins. It's a very cool way to commemorate your trip. Alright guys, I hope you enjoyed this story, and yeah, may the Force be with you.